The moment the classroom door opened, every alien student froze. A human boy named Elias walked in calmly, and behind him padded a living, breathing wolf. This wasn't a hologram, not a genetic reconstruction, but a real animal. The galaxy had declared erased from history. The teacher's data slate clattered to the floor, and the room fell into a dead silence. For centuries, the Galactic Archive had listed wolves as a failed predator species from a primitive death world. The official records claimed they were too aggressive, too inefficient, and ultimately wiped out by their own harsh environment. No one ever questioned it. No one bothered to look deeper. The file was closed, stamped, and forgotten. But Elias had read that file as a child. He knew it was a lie. He grew up on a remote human colony where wolves weren't monsters or myths. They were guardians, hunters, and family. When the prestigious Intergalactic Academy accepted him, they demanded strict cultural compliance. No prohibited species, no dangerous relics. Elias agreed, but said nothing about the wolf that followed him anyway. Its name was Ash. It was a scarred, old, and remarkably calm creature. Elias had rescued Ash from a frozen moon after an illegal mining operation shattered its pack. He had carried it through brutal ice storms, shared his own rations to feed it, and slept beside it for warmth against the biting cold. When the evacuation ships finally came, they refused to take the animal. So Elias stayed behind, waiting until a sympathetic cargo pilot simply looked the other way. Now, in the classroom, Ash sat down and did nothing. There was no growl, no threat. Its intelligent eyes simply watched every movement in the room. The alien students could practically smell the fear on each other. They were bracing for violence, for a savage outburst. But it never came. The instructor, recovering from the shock, demanded the immediate removal of the creature. Elias stood his ground. He spoke quietly, his voice steady, and began to explain what wolves truly were. They were pack creatures, he said, loyal hunters, protectors of the weak. He explained that humans didn't survive by erasing predators, but by learning from them, by forming bonds with them. Then, as if on cue, Ash stood up and walked over to the smallest student in the room, a member of a prey species, who was shaking in absolute terror. Ash gently lowered its head and sat beside them. Its breathing was warm and steady. No teeth were bared. No attack was made. Slowly, the small alien stopped shaking. The room's environmental sensors recorded it all. Heart rates dropped, stress markers stabilized. In that one simple act, the wolf taught a lesson no lecture ever could. Within minutes, the Academy Council arrived, flanked by armed guards who surrounded the room. Ash didn't move. Elias placed a reassuring hand on its thick fur and waited. He knew punishment was coming. Humans were often punished for defying galactic norms. The council began to review the archives again, this time comparing the ancient, dusty reports with the live data streaming from the classroom. They found contradictions, fabrications. It was a clear case of political erasure. Wolves hadn't gone extinct. They had been systematically removed because their wild, loyal nature didn't fit the galaxy's rigid ideal of control. Ash became living, breathing evidence of a historical lie. That class changed forever. Predator studies were completely Human survival theory became mandatory reading for all students. Elias was suspended, but notably not expelled. And Ash was granted a new, protected species status. Years later, new conservation zones opened up across the galaxy. Wolves returned, not as weapons, but as partners. The official archive even updated its language. Arrest became misjudged. Dangerous became misunderstood. All because one human boy brought a wolf to school, and in doing so, made the galaxy remember what it had chosen to forget. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.